Kurt Timmerman, alternate.
Daryl Pratt, Commissioner.
Phoebe Holmes, regular member.
Mike Lucia, alternate.
Andy Kame, alternate.
Okay. Thank you. So the next item on the agenda is to review the minutes of the previous meeting, May 12th, 2022. Do I have a motion to approve, or is there any discussion?
Make a motion to approve the minutes of the 5/12/22 meeting. I didn't see any, glaring errors or any.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
No.
Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Any abstentions? Oh, Phoebe's opposed.
Correction, and still on it and listed as absent.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Did we know back then, Gail?
We
Oh.
did. We found out that, yep.
It was the day before.
That's why she wasn't at the meeting. Good catch.
So I believe until it was read into the record, she was technically still on the board. Is that true, Fran?
I think she gave her resignation, the day before, but.
Okay. I left her on there because at the start of the meeting, I wasn't aware that she had resigned.
Yeah.
And I thought that she needed to be on there that one last time, but
Yeah.
could be my mistake.
Yeah, hi, it's Andy. Just a quick point of order. I think Rochelle read her resignation letter into the record, and the resignation letter actually went to Rochelle. It didn't actually go to the board, the zoning board. So I think Allison is correct.
Yes.
Well, it's not supposed to go to the zoning board. It's supposed to go to the town clerk.
Yep.
And well, with a copy to the chairman, but that's herself, so.
Well, in any case, it didn't go where it was supposed to go.
So it's a minor point, but I'm okay with either way. But does Kurt, do you want to make a motion with as the amendment or whatever?
I'll make a motion to amend that Ann wasn't there due to a resignation, though marked absent. That's why she was absent. That'll cover both bases.
Do we have a second to that?
I'll second that.
Phoebe put her hand up first, so Phoebe gets the second. Any further discussion? All those in favor of approving the minutes from May 12th as amended, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I,
All those opposed? Hearing none. Any abstentions? The motion to approve the minutes as edited passes.
Mr. Chairman, one note on the 428 minutes, when we were going to look about who actually made the second, I looked at the video and it was Andy and Daryl who both made the second at the exact same time. So it's a choice of Allison, I suppose.
What would you like to do about that?
Make a motion to amend the minutes of the previous minutes of 428 to clarify who made the second.
Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Who's that?
Mike.
Mike Lucia has seconded the motion. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Any abstentions? The motion to amend the minutes of April 28, 2022 passes. Next item up on the agenda is the Land Use Enforcement Officer's report. Mr. Lally.
Sure. I emailed it to everybody today. Hopefully everybody got it in time for your reading.
Pleasure.
Enjoyment, whatever, however you want to look at it. Regarding 107 Stony Hill Road, Demi, the building official, received a text today from the engineer. His name is Andrew. can't remember his last name. He's working to resolve the issue with the retaining wall being on the neighbor's property. Again, they built like 5 feet of it over on the wrong side. They cannot give him that property because it's going to make that property non-conforming. It's a 1 acre zone, and by doing that, he's going to lose land. So they're trying to resolve it. The engineer of record is working on it. So hopefully that'll be resolved soon. 81 Clearview Drive, that letter came back today undeliverable to me, although I do have comments in OpenGov and viewpoint system. So they are aware of the letter because that's where their emails are and it goes right to them. So there's been no complaints since I did the letter, which is a good thing, but I'm still watching that property, and I'll try to work with everybody else on the property just to make sure everything is satisfied and everything is, there's no more erosion on it. It's new construction being built. That's the problem. So 47 High Ridge Road, the complaint came into land use about the child play structures in the front yard, near the front lot line and the hot tub and stuff. He actually came into the office, I want to say on the 24th, and he talked our ear off for a couple hours. Note that this property is on the blight list too. And we do have liens on the property. He seems to be accumulating more stuff instead of getting rid of stuff. But he did come in, he put a letter into the office, requesting more time. He's trying to get the property clean. He says he needs one more dumpster up there and the property's going to be mint. But I'm still watching it. So as of right now, I gave him another couple weeks to get the property cleaned up. He's trying to make an effort, like I said. At least he came in and he acknowledged the letter, which is a good thing. So,
Do you think it will look good after one more dumpster? Do you think that's really all it needs?
I don't know. I think the property needs a lot of work. I mean, there's a lot up there that I think is behind the fence, but right now I need to focus on what's outside the fence and what the neighbors complain about. And the blight panel and the town attorney's been involved in this, so this has been a nightmare for everyone. But I'm hoping.
So do you think he'll be in compliance after the one dumpster, or do you think it'll just be like, oh no, there's so much more to do?
I'm hoping so. I need to draw setbacks for him. He's not sure where his setback line is. He thinks that the neighbor next door moved the survey sticks that he had surveyed against the law to do that, and I explained that to him. But he's going to get his own survey because he's contesting the survey that was done by the neighbor. But regardless, I have a valid survey, and that's what I'm going to go off of the neighbors, and it's stamped and signed and sealed. So that's what I'm going off of. So I'll give him a setback where stuff can be, where it can't, and we'll go. But he's making an effort to work with us for once. So,
Good.
Yep. On 9 Oakcrest, Mimosa residents. I received calls from both the renter and the owner of the property. He's indicating to me that one vehicle has been sold and will be removed, and he needs a couple more weeks just to get rid of the debris on the side. Originally, she had mentioned to me that it's all scrap metal, but viewing the pictures, it's all child play stuff and just garbage can and everything else. So there's no scrap metal there. So whatever she's being told is not what's actually there. But both of them did call me, the renter and the owner, and they're both willing to get the stuff out of there within the next week or two. So I'm going to watch that too, because the neighbor's watching it obviously too. So that's where my complaint's coming from. 4 Deer Run Road. There was a boat that was destroyed during the COVID, or not COVID, during the macro burst, excuse me. That boat has been removed. I did an inspection today. It's gone finally off the front yard, and where they got rid of it, I have no idea, but it's gone. So I'm going to remove that from the enforcement report, which is completed. 132 on the cease and desist list, 132 Federal Road, the Comweb Manufacturing Building. The property owner has been in like 3 times in the past week and a half trying to get this property into compliance. The one renter who's there is also applying for the permits. So everything is going good on this one. So I'm going to remove this from the report. We have compliance. Everyone's working together, and that's all I like to see right there. So that's a good one. 67 Long Meadow Hill Road, the contractor's yard. I did send a cease and desist on the 20th of May He has 10 days upon receipt of notice to respond to me. I have not received the green card back yet, but I'm going to watch that. I'll have an update at the next meeting on that one. 271 Federal Road is the Fox Hill Inn. I know I brought this up at the last meeting. This was churches were being held in this building, which isn't in a zone for churches. And we went out with the building official. We did an inspection. The building official posted the notice that they can't occupy the space. Well, they ripped it off the door and they occupied the space for the following Sunday church. Regardless, we went back out there again. Both the building official and I did. I posted a cease and desist order on the door. The building official reposted his notice that no one's to occupy the building. Since then, things have been quiet. They have not been in there. They're wanted to have a service outside. We indicated that they cannot have the service outside because it's still considered in the C1 zone. And neighbors would not like that with music blasting at 8:30 in the morning. I know I wouldn't on a Sunday morning. Regardless, Attorney Cook was in the office on Monday. I met with him and he was going over the application for a zone change. And that could be coming at some point. I don't know when, but that's something that's going to be coming to possibly to the commission. But as of right now, there's no more services there. They have found a new location that they're going to do their services, and we'll see where this one's going to go. So, and all the signs have been covered up to obviously show that there's no more church there. And last but not least, 89 Wisconsin Road. I did send Barbara Schellenberg, the town attorney, representing the town on this one right here, some new updated pictures. The front of the yard is pretty well cleaned up now from the contractor stuff. But as I indicated to Barbara or the attorney Schellenberg, that he's hiding everything behind the fence and stuff. And when I did my cease and desist, I cited both blight and permitted uses. So the front of the property may not be blighted, but it's contractor's yard and it's not permitted in a residential zone. And that should be it. And just one more thing, I did receive 3 more complaints in the past 48 hours that I do not have on here. It's just been, I've been doing wetlands inspections and I've been doing zoning, and just we're limited right now in the office too with being down 2 people. So I'll have another update next meeting.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you. Does any other commissioner have any questions for Mr. Lally?
Nope.
All right. Well, yes,
89
Katie.
Wisconsin's court date.
I don't have one yet. I don't have
Will
one.
you be notified of that?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay.
And I just to give you one more, for some of you, not everybody was on the commission. Attorney Tom Beecher reached out to me today. On June, I believe it's 20th, I have to appear at Danbury Superior Court with Attorney Beecher with the lawsuit regarding the Sokol Club on Candlewood Lake Road and versus Mark Berserka. So I need to be present for that. So not that just some of the commissioners were there present prior during this one, but just to give you a heads up. So otherwise, that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, if I may, a minor point of privilege, I'd like to, before moving on to item 5, go back to item number 3, where I convened the meeting with apologies to Allison. I should have noted that this was a zoning commission regular meeting via Zoom with a revised agenda taking place at 7:01 p.m. on this Thursday, May 26th, 2022. So sorry about that, Allison, but that's in there now for the record. Next item is number 5, review correspondence. We have the usual minutes of other boards and commissions. Does anyone have any comments or questions about that?
No.
Hearing none, I'll move on then. Let's see. To item number 6, continued public hearings. We have A as an alpha, proposed regulation change number Z-21-114. This, I would like to entertain a motion to table once again to the next meeting, which is June 9th. because there was a meeting scheduled for yesterday for the subcommittee to meet, but because of the rather short notice for the closure of town hall for meetings, we decided to postpone. And so we still need to reschedule the subcommittee to bring back something to discuss with the general commission. My suggestion was going to be that we make it for June 8th, which is the Wednesday before, because that'll be after June 3rd, and we'll be able to meet in town hall as we originally planned for yesterday. So I don't know if anyone wants to make a motion on anything I just said, but that's what I think is the current status on that.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to continue proposed regulation change application Z-21-114 to the next regular meeting, which is June 9th, 2022. And also, in the side, we got that information about new state regs, so that'll have perhaps a big impact on what our regs should be, if we need to put them in sync or not. Well, so we have at least 2 weeks to read through those state regs to see what they actually say as it relates to EV chargers.
Yes, thank you. Do I have a second for that motion?
I'll second that.
Darrell Pratt seconds it. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, the motion carries. Thank you. Next item is item number 7, public hearings. We have none scheduled for this evening. Next item is item number 8, old business. A is an alpha zoning application, opt out of public acts. We have a public hearing scheduled for June 9th, 2022. I think at this point, we're just noting it. And if there's any further discussion, let's hear it. But otherwise, I think we've covered it for this meeting.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
Next is item B, as in Bravo, 23 Grays Bridge Road, Z-22-28. Likewise, public hearing is scheduled for June 9th, 2022. Same response. We're noting it, but there's no action to be taken at this time unless anyone wants to raise something. Next on to new business, item 9. Next, A as an alpha, 117 Old State Road, Growing Seeds Academy, number Z-22-29. Is there anyone here to represent the application and speak to it?
I think Greg Steiner's here from Berkshire, but maybe he didn't hear his introduction.
Looks like
Greg,
it's muted.
Hi, this is Greg Steiner. How are you?
Hi, Greg.
Thank you for having us on tonight. Unfortunately, couldn't be there tonight with the application. We'd like to, first, I have 2 applications. The first one is for our building at 117 Old State Road, which is where Growing Seeds is, the new daycare, the old craft basket. And we've received a CO for the building. She's actually opening on Tuesday, the 31st of May. And the plan had originally included about approximately 2,000 square feet of exterior playgrounds area. And what she'd like to do is she'd like to add, due to the number of kids that she's projecting and when she got her state licensing to go through, in the summertime, if she gets to full capacity sometime this fall, she would need an approximately 800 additional square feet of outdoor play area. So what we propose to do is on this plan is to provide an additional fence per the plans. Can you see those there?
Hold up, Greg, yours to the camera.
Excuse me?
Can you hold up your document to the camera so we'll know which one you're talking about?
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Is that helpful?
Yes.
So what they'd like to do is as you look at the front of the building, there's an existing white 6-foot-high privacy fence that has where the playground is now. We were a little concerned it was going to block the building, so our proposal tonight is to add an additional 800 square feet of a 4-foot-high fence that's small, only 4 feet high. It's got pickets that you can see through it, and there will also be additional green grass. The grass will be inside, and it'll probably be more of the AstroTurf for the requirements for the state.
Any commissioner have any questions for Mr. Steiner?
Yes, Kurt Timmerman. I noticed what looked like bushes there too. Is that bushes that will go around?
Yes, right now we would take it's existing landscape, and that area right now is grass with shrubs that go along the building, and then basically mirror what's there against the existing white fence now. We would relocate those plants, move them to the south, the 30 feet or so, and then we add some more rocks so the cars don't drive into that, and just reduce make the grass area a little bit smaller, but it still feel open to the size of the building.
Is 4 feet high enough to really keep anyone safe?
This was passed through by the state, and the state, she has accepted this, that she got this approved by the state for the height. So this fence first came, so yes, from what I understand, yes.
That seems a little short, like 5 feet sounds better, but okay.
Again, I'm going, she was not able to make it. She's in Brazil at a wedding. So I'm representing I'm the building owner. She's the actual, so I'm doing this for her, but she said this is what she was comfortable with, that she felt the state would go off with, but we could be more.
She was comfortable
Yes.
with 4 feet.
This was her suggestion. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, hi, it's Andy Kame. This is
Must
just
be
an
very
expansion.
small or something like that.
Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, hi, it's Andy Kame. Hi, Greg. This is just an expansion to the existing fenced area, correct?
That's exactly right. They will leave the existing fence that's there, put a small gate into it, and then just add this additional fence along the side. That's correct.
Thank you.
Are there any further questions? Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor of this application? Present? Hearing nothing. Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to this application? Present? At this time, is there anyone who would like to make a motion on this application?
I'd like to make a motion to approve 117 Old State Road, Growing Seeds Academy, application Z-22-29, site plan modification to install additional fence playground.
Do I have a second on that motion?
Sure. I'll second it.
Daryl Pratt seconded. Any other discussion?
Seems
Hearing
pretty
none.
straightforward,
Yes.
Yeah.
Hearing no further discussion, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, the application and motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And then, so the next application that we have is, I'm sure you've all driven by that building with our upgrade that we've done. We've added the kind of the horizontal metal siding to bring it up to a little bit more of today's standards. And we've been struggling with the backside of the building next door at 195 Federal Road, which was the magnet flies in the front. And this was originally constructed for Datar back in the mid 80s. It was one of the original EFIS systems that was constructed, and it served its purpose very well. But as you've driven by that lately, you'll notice that the front was a lower. It's only about 12 feet, 14 feet high. Between the new paint jobs and the size of that, the stucco came out we think very well in the front of the building and along the side. We had always planned to, and we had gotten approval to continue that same color motif around the back of the building and the side. And after doing some extensive repairs in the front around the windows and Maggie's and the AutoZone area, to take care of some of the cracks, we thought that that would be a good test zone for us as we got to this bigger facade on the south and east sides of the building. And
Mr. Steiner,
Yes.
if I may, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I was about to follow the agenda, and it's a minor point of order, but for decorum and propriety, we should read it into the record before you start to proceed on it. So the next item up under new business, number 9, item B is Bravo, 195 Federal Road, known as the Iron Factory Gym, number Z-22-30. Now please proceed. Thank you for your indulgence.
I'm sorry to jump ahead on this.
All right,
Shall I start again for the record?
sure, please.
For the record, Greg Steiner, we own this, built this building.
Could you
about
also
50
say where you live too? I'm sorry, I didn't
Oh,
mention.
sure.
your
Sure,
address.
7 Hamlin Court in Brookfield.
Thank you.
And we bought this building about 15 years ago. We came in 2 years ago for a revised renovation to the facade of Maggie McFly's and a new color scheme, which we instituted. We had found the issues of some of the Drive It was one of the original Drive It productions and tried to repair it. And we noticed over the last year that it had not fared as well, the repairs, what we had hoped for. So we kind of took a look at, we were happy with the way that the metal siding had performed, and we think will perform long-term and also is a better look for us on the 117. So our thought was we engaged 72 architects. They're out of Danbury and Mora. And we kind of take a look at it to maybe update this building a little bit. So what we're in front of you for tonight would be to take a panel, basically what we had used on the panel at 195, at 117 next door was horizontal. Because of the height of this building, it's about 35 feet or so. We had proposed to make them go vertical for the top 25 feet or so. And then underneath that, through our architect, we're investigating different products, but we're thinking more of a metal siding that's more of like a wood colored to create a little bit more, as she says, warmer at the bottom and kind of upgrade the building look, which we think will then last much longer and be more effective than the Drive It, because the Drive It's kind of it's still water resistant. We've had a lot of cracks, and it's really, it'd be a huge expense to redo the whole Drive It, and it's still a Drive It system. This is our only Drive It building that we have, and we've always done brick or metal siding. So we think this is a better long-term product for ourselves and for the town, and it looks better and brings it up to speed. Again, I'm sorry that we're not in person so you can take a look at these different products. And we're 99% sure this is the panel that we run at the bottom. Again, more of a reddy, earthy tone. The top panel will be more of a gray, like I showed you at 117, but it may be a little bit smaller reveal of the flutes in the size. But from far distance, I don't think you know the difference. We wanted to make sure that they're concealed fasteners so that we don't have problems with drainage and water issues down the road. And we would do the east side, which is the tall side, and the south side that would face the 117 building and butt up to where Maggie McFly's outside patio is.
Did you want to say anything further, Mr. Gray?
No, I'd be more than happy to answer any questions of any of the
Thank you.
commissioners.
Do any commissioners have any other questions for Mr. Steiner?
The chairman,
Yes,
I got one. If I may ask a question. Mr. Steiner, it's not like you haven't finalized your exterior siding?
No, we just want to investigate this product because we just want to make sure that when this is going to be sturdy and longevity for us. It's going to look just like this, but there's another product that we just found out that's more of a composite material that's the same 6 inches, that looks the same color, that might be more like a Boral or a Hardy plank that is we're more conducive with that than we are like a metal siding. That's the only difference, but it would be this exact color. And if it does change, I'd be more than happy to bring it to the commission.
Okay, and the corrugated, you say you had two different sizes that you just.
Well, yes, this was more to a representation of the color that we wanted, which is a grayish color. The sample that I have is a smaller corrugated. This is what we've used, but it's bronze, so I didn't want to mislead people, think that we're gonna put bronze on the building.
Okay, gotcha. And lighting's gonna stay the same?
Yes. And we would add, the idea too is to add a couple awnings, and we actually we were going to repurpose and reuse a couple of the awnings that came off of Maggie McFly's in the front, and they actually would fit 2, 3, or 4 of them down below, just to give it a little bit of a little different look also for the lower level. And we'll do like a gray, obviously replace them. The frames are good, we just put a new fabric on it.
Gotcha, thank you.
Any other commissioners have any questions for Mr. Steiner?
Yeah.
Kirk Timmerman, no. Oh. Go ahead.
Oh, hi, it's Andy Kame again. Thanks. I'm looking at this diagram and I'm just trying to get a big picture thing here. Basically, are you telling us what you're going to do is just have the same type of siding that's on the front installed on the east and south side, so it makes the building all one style? Is that what's happening?
No, actually, the original idea was to change the color of the building. So right now it's more of that beigey color. So we were going to paint, we had approval when we did Maggie's, we had planned on just a lighter color gray to continue itself around the whole building. And when we started realizing that this drive-it is almost at the end of its lifetime, we looked at, instead of just painting it and spending a lot of money to fix it that we don't think is going to last, we'd like to upgrade just these 2 facades with this metal panel look.
Okay. And the awnings that you mentioned, are they part of this application or?
Yes.
Okay.
Anyone else
And
have a
again,
question? Mr. Timmerman, perhaps?
Oh, sure. I mean, from the artist rendering, it does look nice. Unfortunately, not too many people see it because it's kind of blocked by trees and everything. It is the back, but I like the look of it, as far as colors and everything. And
that's why it's hard. The rendering is not, that's why I wanted to, it's easier to show a piece of sample. If we were in person, it'd be much easier to look at because it almost looks white on the rendering. It's really more of a light gray, which should be a complement to the building next door, 117 Old State Road.
Thank you. Are there any other questions from any other commissioners?
Does the new material just go right up over what's there?
Yes. Yes. So it's like a skin on top of a skin. So it's almost a double layer there. Because if you notice, we caulked it. So the wall is watertight and it just doesn't look very, very well. And it's not one of how we're going to keep this building for a long time. We want to, continue the front new look of the colors, and just I was personally stumped that when I thought we'd be able to just paint the back, it did not work out. So we don't want to spend a lot of money painting it every 2 or 3 years and fixing cracks again.
Any further questions? Hearing none, I would ask if there's anyone present who wants to speak in favor of the application. Hearing none, I will then ask, is there anyone present who would like to speak in opposition to the application? Hearing none, I would ask if there's any commissioner who would like to make a motion relative to this application.
Sure, I'll make a motion to approve application for site plan modification Z-22-30 for renovation of 195 Federal Road.
Do we have a second for that motion?
I'll second.
Mr. Timmerman seconds. Any other discussion? Hearing none, I would ask that all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Signify by saying nay. Are there any abstentions? Hearing neither nays nor abstentions, the motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Welcome.
Hey, have a nice Memorial Day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Up next, we have item letter C as in Charlie for 2 Signal Hill Road, number E-22-43. Is there anyone present to speak about the application?
Yes, I am here, George Smith.
Good evening, Mr. Smith. Please go ahead.
So we did apply for a permit to put in a ground mount solar system on Signal Hill Road. We did submit the first round and took advisement that we would need a land survey. The homeowner did, or property owner did, do a full land survey, and we repositioned the system to where it currently sits. I believe you have full copies of our application and drawings.
Yes, continue.
That's, I mean, really what I have. I was the last minute to fill in. I'm aware, you know, I'm aware of the project and I know enough about the project, but haven't had to go before any planning and zoning in the past. So anything you need to ask from me, I'll be happy to answer for you.
All right, having heard that, any commissioners have any questions for Mr. Smith?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to go over what the section is related to this and why they have to come in front of us.
Please do so.
It's section 3.7 under residential for solar panels. And normally the panels, we prefer them to be roof mounted, but they can be, they don't have to be if the supporting documentation proves that no suitable location is available in the building due to exposed surfaces not facing the appropriate direction, like south and west, and that no glare will be created, and the optimal location of panels is at ground level, which I guess we'll have to ask that. And then we can establish a smaller setback than normal for that zone, up down to 10 feet if we wanted. But looking at the drawing, it looks like it's at 50 feet. And then in no case are solar panels permitted to be whose primary purpose is to supply power for commercial purposes, you know, to sell. So it's only for themselves. So that happens to be around page 53 in our books. So they have a ground mounted solar array instead of on the roof. And that's why they're in front of us, because it's out of the ordinary. I did the calculations on the panel size. It's there's 48 of them, and as they sit on the ground, they're 43 feet wide and 20 feet deep. You know, that's how big 48 panels would be. And they have it set back 50 feet from one side and 80 from the, wait, it's a micro print. 60 from the other. So they meet their setbacks. And so that's what I can say about it. So just so the commission knows about why they have to come in front of us for solar panels.
Thank you. Thank you for filling me in on that. That was more than I got minutes before they asked me to join the Zoom. I will speak briefly to the reason that it's not on the roof, and we do prefer roofs ourselves, but there is just not enough room on their roof to produce the power that they consume. And if you can see that drawing of the house and the size of our system, we clearly would not get much on the south and west sides of the home.
Thank you for that. Does any other commissioner have any questions or comments regarding this application?
Yeah, hi, it's Andy Kame. I just had, I apologize, I'm relatively new to the commission, and I just was wondering, are there any notification requirements to the neighbors? I'm aware that you're within setbacks and all that sort of thing, but are there any sort of notifications, sightline or that type of thing that has to be given to neighbors regarding this proposed ground panel installation or ground tower installation, however you want to refer to it?
Hi, Andy, it's Kurt Timmerman. No, only because it's not a public hearing or anything like that. If it was like a special permit requiring a public hearing, then they would have to be notified. Or if it was a variance, say if they wanted to go into setbacks.
Okay, all right. So this is just basically to make up the difference of what they couldn't put on the roof. All right, thank you.
Are there any other commissioners? Go ahead, Mr. Timmerman.
Oh, yeah, sorry for going on and on. I was wondering, are you going to have battery storage as part of it or not? Just curious.
No battery storage. And I did want to speak briefly to the reflection. It is a black on black panel. There's minimal to no reflection and or glare coming off the panels.
My question.
From what I saw on the Google, it's, there's trees all the way around. And it looks like a bad roof shape for any sort of solar panel.
Thank you. At this point, I will ask again, is there any commissioner who has another question or comment? And also if the zoning enforcement officer has anything further that he might want to add relative to this application.
With regards to the application, no, just
We
I
know
follow the reg.
Setbacks are honored here, so that's good.
But no, all is good. I mean, it meets setbacks. I had to go back a few times with them to clarify the setbacks and explain the regulations to them, but not with George here, but who I was dealing with prior with the application. But no, I have no other comments or concerns. So
Thank you, Mr. Lally.
thank you.
With that, I will ask if there is anyone present who would like to speak in favor of this application. Hearing none, I will then ask if there is anyone present who would like to speak in opposition to this application. Likewise, hearing none, I would like to ask the commissioners if anyone would like to make a motion at this time.
I'll make a motion, this is Kurt Timmerman, to approve 2 Signal Hill Road, application E-22-43 for an application for solar panels.
Do we have a second to that motion?
Second.
Phoebe Holmes seconds the motion. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of this motion and application, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing neither abstentions nor opposition, the motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you all. Have a great weekend.
True, thank you.
Thank you, you too. Moving along to item D, Delta 701 Federal Road number Z-22-34, design review mixed use building. Is there anyone here representing that application?
Mr. Chairman, we're just setting the public hearing tonight.
Do we have a motion then to set the public hearing at the suggested date of June 23rd, 2022?
I'll make that motion to set the public hearing for application Z-22-34 design review mixed use building at 701 Federal Road for the date of June 23rd, 2022.
Do we have a second to Mr. Timmerman's motion?
I'll second it.
Mr. Pratt seconds the motion. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, I would ask that all those who are in favor of the motion, please do signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing neither abstentions nor opposition, the motion carries. This will be set for the public hearing of June 23rd, 2022. Next item on the agenda is item number 10, tabled items. There is nothing there. So we'll move on to item number 11, informal discussion. If I may, there was one thing I wanted to thank Mr. Lally for. He did hand out in our packets an insert for the zoning regulations relative to cannabis establishments. I don't know if everyone got a copy of that, but my screen is blurred, so you can't see it, but wanted to thank him. The only thing I would say is that the page number on it is 89, and there's already an 89 and a 90, so maybe we could make this number 91.
Oh, a question of clarification. I mean, a note of clarification. When the book was redone, repagination happened. And so that's why the numbering's off.
So is this correct, 89?
No, someone wrote on it. I think, I can't remember because when I do, I actually update the regs myself. So the table of contents is got repagination and there's a revision at the end. So I think it was, I don't remember because I don't have it all, but 91. But when they put the new one up, the PDF on the website, you can see what the page numbers are supposed to be.
Well, thank you for that. In the meantime, I'm just going to put it behind at the end of the section. But thank you, Mr. Lally, for providing that. It's very helpful. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I would move on to item number 12, comments of commissioners. Do any of the commissioners have any further comments they'd like to make? Hearing none, I would ask that we have item number 13, adjournment. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Well, I'll make that motion.
Mr. Pratt makes a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Timmerman seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed and abstained? The motion carries unanimously. Thank you.